Vice President of India, that is the head of the state of Republic of India. डिप्टी हेड बोल सकते हैं इसको. ही इज़ ए डिप्टी हेड. Second highest constitutional office. After president, it is second highest office in order of precedence. President is the first line of succession in the presidency. The vice president is the chairman of Rajya Sabha, and he is a chairman of Rajya Sabha and second in order of precedence. Order of precedence, he is the second rank. Article 66 of Constitution state the manner of the election of vice president. The vice president is elected indirectly. First of all, indirect election by the electoral college and consisting of member of both house of parliament, not the member of state assembly. Only both house of parliament. So state assembly do not participate. Using the proportional representation, single transferable vote, and the voting is conducted by the Election Commission of India by secret ballot. It is by secret ballot and Election Commission of India. Vice President is Chancellor of Punjab, Delhi and Pondicherry University. Also visitor of the Makhanlal University, and the position holder also serve the President Indian Institute of Public Administration. So you can see here salary जो है इनकी 4 लाख रुपीज़ है. डिप्टी हैं, ये डिप्टी चेयरमैन ऑफ राज्यसभा हैं. फॉर्मेशन हुआ था 30 मई 1950 से 75 ईयर अगो. इनाग्रल होल्डर थे सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्णन 50 से 1962 में. और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इंस्ट्रूमेंट इनका आर्टिकल 63 में है. 5 ईयर टर्म होता है, रिन्यूएबल होती है टर्म. इलेक्ट्रल कॉलेज ऑफ इंडिया से अपॉइंट होते हैं ये. वाइस प्रेसिडेंट एनक्लेव में न्यू दिल्ली है. डेप्टी हेड ऑफ चेयरमैन ऑफ राज्यसभा हैं ये. एंड हॉनरेबल वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हिज एक्सीलेंसी. डिप्लोमेटिक करस्पॉन्डेंस इनफॉर्मल फॉर्मल दोनों ही होंगे ये. सो प्रेजेंटली CP राधाकृष्णन. CP राधाकृष्णन. ओके, so that was 2025. Citizen of India, 35 year of the age, holding not hold any office of profit. Office of profit he do not hold. Not necessary to be a MP, but should be eligible for Rajya Sabha seat. So Rajya Sabha seat is necessary for him. Unlike the case of speaker, where a person is member of Lok Sabha, the vice president must be qualified for election as a member of Rajya Sabha. So he must be qualified. He must be qualified as a member of Rajya Sabha. As a member of Rajya Sabha. Okay. An ex officio chamber of the Rajya Sabha as a act as a, and at a time of vice president act in either house two capacities, a chairman of Rajya Sabha or vice president of India cannot act both office simultaneously. मतलब दोनों ऑफिस एक साथ नहीं. Election, the vice president is elected indirectly. Was indirect election. Electoral college consists of both the House of Parliament, Lok Sabha, by system of proportional representation, single transferable vote. Voting is a secret ballot. It is a secret ballot, and the election of vice president is slightly different from election of president, and not a part of electoral college but a nominated member of Rajya Sabha. So nominated members of Rajya Sabha are part of it. The nomination of candidate is election to be office of vice president must be substituted 20 electors and 20 proposals. 20 electors and 20 proposers. Every candidate has to take a security deposit of 15,000 by Reserve Bank of India. Election Commission of India, which is the constitutional autonomous body, conduct the election. The election is to be held in 16 days of expiry of term of his outgoing vice president. A returning officer appointed for the election, usually the Secretary General of the other House of Parliament by rotation. So the returning officer issue the public notice intended election inviting the nominated candidates, and any person qualified to elected and intending to stand for election required to be nominated by at least 20 member parliament proposer होंगे, and at least 20 is the parliament seconder. So 20 is the proposer and 20 is the seconder. So nomination paper are scrutinized by the returning officer, and name of all eligible candidate to the ballot, and there will be a ballot. Okay. So election is held a proportional representation, single transferable vote, secret ballot, and this is a secret ballot. Voters take rank, assigning first preferences, second preferences, and third. So on the number of votes required by candidate is secure. Election calculated dividing the total number of valid cast vote by the two and adding one of the quotient by disregarding. If no candidate obtain the required number of first preference, the candidate with the fewest first preference are eliminated, and second preference voter transfer कर लिए जाते हैं, and the process is repeated until the candidate obtain the requisite number of vote. So nominated member can also be participate. Yes. After the election has been held in the votes content, the returning officer declared the result. Thereafter, returning officer report to the Government of India and Election Commission of India. So report will be go to Election Commission of India, and the government publish the name of person as a vice president in official gazette. The vice president may resign office by submitting letter to resignation to president, and the resignation becomes effective from the day he is accepted. If the vice president resign, then the vacant post has to fill as soon as possible. Wherever is the case of president, election has to be held within the 6 month. The spouse of vice president, also known as the second lady of India. She is known the second lady of India. Election disputes. So all the disputes arising of the connection with the elections of Supreme Court of India will be participate in that. So petition will be go to the Supreme Court, which inquire into the matter, and the petition is the head of the 5-member bench will see which decide the matter, and the decision of Supreme Court India will be the final. The Supreme Court India inquire into the decide upon the doubts and election of vice president. In Article 71 and 1, the Supreme Court can remove the vice president for committing electoral malpractices under the Article 71 and 3, Representation of People Act of 1951. Dispute that arise only during the election of vice president, but not the doubts that arise from the unconstitutional actions during his tenure which may violate requisite electoral qualification. The Supreme Court shall also expeditiously decide any doubts raised by the election vice president, and under Article 71 it is the responsibility of the Supreme Court to inquire about the so-called unconstitutional act and present, such as turning down the notice, and now Chief Justice of India and other judges of Supreme Court and High Court. In Article 244 and 4, Judges Inquiry Act of 1968, it was in 1968, or allowing the bill passed under the simple majority instead of procedure applicable to constitutional amendment falsely declaring bill passed. So this will be go for the simple majority. And Article 124 and 4. Okay, so oath and affirmation. Article 69 Constitution provide the oath and affirmation. Oath and affirmation for office of vice president, and do swear name of God solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith, allegiance to the Constitution by law, and discharge the duty upon I doubt. The president administered the oath of office, secrecy of the vice president, and this is the secrecy. Term is a 5-year is the term of vice president. The vice president can be elected any number of the times. Office may be terminated, death, resignation, removal. The Constitution does not provide mechanism for succession of this, but event of extraordinary vacancy apart from re-election, the deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha can perform the vice president duty as the chairman of Rajya Sabha in such event. However, when the president dies in office and vice president take over president, the vice president can continue serving as a president maximum 6 months. Okay, so when the president dies in office, then vice president take the president office serving as a president for the 6 months, within which new president shall be elected. Removal. The constitution state is vice president can be removed by the office by the Rajya Sabha, an effective majority, and agreed Lok Sabha with a simple majority. Article 67 and B. So there must be a simple majority. Okay. So but no such resolution may be moved in the 14 days notice. It required a 14 days notice in the advance. Notably, Constitution does not ground the removal. The removal of chairman Rajya Sabha cannot be challenged in any court. It will never be challenged in any court. Not challenged in any court, and it is in Article 122. Before Jagdeep Dhankar, no vice president has faced removal. Although the motion of removal Jagdeep Dhankar was not accepted. Now the Supreme Court inquired into the decide dispute related to the election of vice president under Article 71 and 1, and however the constitution does not mention any specific grounds for removal. There is a provision for the salary. The vice president has received salary capacity ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, which is currently is a 4 lakh rupees. It's 4700 US dollar. 4700 US dollar. And the vice president is entitled to free furnished residence, medical, other facility. The constitution provides that when the vice president acts as the president discharge the duties, vice president entitled to salary of the privileges of the president. The pension for the vice president is 50% of his salary. So it is the pension. In fact, only official who does not get the salary emoluments of design post. So this is all about the vice president of the